Good morning all. So today we are going to discuss about the morphology, that is about Vibrios. In the last session we have discussed the arrangement of both cocci and bacilli. So today we are discussing about Vibrios, Spirillum, Spirochetes and Mycoplasma. So first of all about Vibrios. Vibrios, these are the small, slightly curved rods. They are measuring 3 to 4 micrometer in length by 0.5 micrometer in width. Most Vibrios are highly motile with a single flagellum, which is also known as polar flagellum. So flagellum which is helpful for this organism to move from one place to another. So it possesses a single flagellum with 1 to 3 whip-like flagellum at one end. That means they possess polar flagella. They show rapid darting motility. Means it moves faster. That is a type of motility. So you can give me the example of the organism showing darting motility. You should say Vibrio or Vibrio cholerae. So the species among this Vibrio showing darting motility is Vibrio cholerae, causative agent of cholera. Next is Gram reaction. All the Vibrios are gram-negative organisms. That means they cannot take up the primary stain crystal violet. They take only the counter stain. So they may appear pink in color or gram-negative. Next, Vibrios are facultative anaerobes, which means they are aerobes but they can live in anaerobic condition, not requiring oxygen. Their cells are curved. So the shape of their cells are in curved structure, that is in the comma shape, and it has a measurement 0.5 micrometer across and 1.5 to 3 micrometer long, and it can be either in single or strung together in S shape or spirals. So actually these Vibrios are comma shaped organisms. The 3 species of this Vibrio are significant to humans. First of all, Vibrio cholerae, the causative agent of cholera. It is a dreadful disease which may transmit through contaminated water, food and water, mainly water. Then Vibrio parahemolyticus, then Vibrio vulnificus. Both acts as agents for acute enteritis related to intestinal infections or bacterial diarrhea. Next is Vibrio angularum. It is found in deceased eels and also in other fishes. So these are mainly marine forms. They can be seen in eels and other fishes. So this is the morphology of Vibrio. Gram-negative, rigid, curved rods that are actively motile, comma shaped, and it possesses polar flagellum and their measurement. And in this picture also, in the stained picture, you can see the Vibrio that is comma shaped with one flagellum. That means it possesses polar flagellum. Next is about Spirilla. Spirilla, these are the small, regularly coiled, rigid organisms. So they are coiled, rigid organisms. Their measurement is 3 to 4 micrometer in length, and each coil measures about 1 micrometer. So they are motile with groups of flagella at both ends. That means it can be either amphitrichous or lophotrichous, means tuft of flagella either at one end, not in one end. The tufts of flagella can be seen in both ends. That means lophotrichous or amphitrichous. An example for the spirillum is Spirillum minus. And the gram reaction, most of the spirilla are gram negative. They are not capable of taking up The primary stain crystal violet. So there are also other important examples coming under the species genus Spirilla that I will discuss in the next slides. So the Spirilla, the singular means spirillum. These are the group of bacteria. They are characterized by corkscrew or spiral appearance. And there is an exception of one species. Members of this group are commonly found in aquatic habitat in the water, where they are capable of swimming rapidly. Although some of the species live freely in certain aquatic habitats, some Spirilla are responsible for various diseases in human beings and both in animals. For a long time, the Spirilla bacteria were classified under the genus Spirillum. So, a spirillum, it is rigid spiral bacteria, and the examples are included here is members of the genus Spirillum include Campylobacter species such as Campylobacter jejuni. It is a foodborne pathogen that causes campylobacteriosis. It is a foodborne pathogen causing an infection that is similar to diarrhea. The next is Helicobacter species. Example is Helicobacter pylori, responsible for causing peptic ulcers. So their most habitat is stomach in our body. So then next, based on the number of physiological and the composition difference, genus has been divided into three main genera. This genus has been divided into three main genera, that is Spirillum, Aquaspirillum and Oceanospirillum. So these are the group of organisms in their stained appearance. Okay. Next is about spirochetes. So we have already finished Vibrios and Spirilla. Next one is spirochetes. These are flexible, coiled and motile organisms, and they progress by rapid body movement. So their body movements are very rapid, and most of them are not easily stained by Gram staining method. Because most of them are motile, they exhibit a type of rotation and flexion. So, and this type of motility, that is due to the rotation and flexion, it is believed to be result from the movement of their axial filaments within their body. So their body possesses axial filaments. The axial filament movement is responsible for rotation and flexion, although the mechanism is not much clear. And they are also flexible organisms. According to their morphology, they are flexible, and they also possess a peptidoglycan cell wall. They possess cell wall with peptidoglycan layer around which, and around this peptidoglycan cell wall, several axial fibrils are wound. I will show the picture. Look this picture. This is the axial fiber. These are wound around their body, that means within the cell wall. The cell wall and axial fibers, they are completely covered by outer bilayered membrane. So they are completely covering outer bilayered membrane, and this bilayered membrane is similar to the outer membrane of gram-negative bacteria. In some species, hyaluronic acid slime layer forms around the exterior of the organism. In some species only, a type of hyaluronic acid slime layer which forms around the outside or exterior of this organism, and this may be responsible for contributing their virulence. So most of them are pathogenic. So this is the structure. Now the spirochetes are divided into mainly three groups, which are all the tryponims. These are thin, delicate spirochetes, and they are with regular tight coils Their measurement is 6 to 15 micrometer by 0.2 micrometer in width. And their examples include Treponema pallidum and Treponema peteneum. This Treponema pallidum is responsible for causing syphilis. It is a type of sexually transmitted disease. Okay. The next important group is Borrelia, coming under the spirochetes. These are large spirochetes. Treponems are thin, delicate spirochetes, but Borrelia are large spirochetes with irregular open coils. And their measurement is 10 to 20 micrometer in length and about 0.5 micrometer in width. Examples include Borrelia dettoni and Borrelia vincendi. So next species is Leptospires, which are thin spirochetes. So Leptospira groups are thin spirochetes with many tightly packed coils. So they are difficult to distinguish also. Many tightly packed coils. Measurement is 6 to 20 micrometer in length and 0.1 micrometer in width. So they are very thin and they have hooked ends. So their ends are hooked, and this hooked ends, this character is peculiar to Leptospires. And this Leptospires of medical importance is Leptospira interrogans. That means you have heard about leptospirosis. The causative agent is Leptospira interrogans. That means Elipani. So this is the causative agent of that infection, Leptospira interrogans, and it is very difficult to culture in normal media. So they require stringent requirements for culturing. Next is the last organisms that we have to discuss is about mycoplasmas. These mycoplasmas are naturally occurring stable bacteria that lack a rigid cell wall. So they doesn't possess a cell wall. They are among the smallest living organisms which are capable of independent existence, and it is ranging in size from 0.1 to 2 micrometer. So the species of medical importance include Mycoplasma pneumoniae and Ureaplasma ureolyticum. So these two organisms are coming under the genus Mycoplasmas. So they are capable of independent existence also, very small organisms. According to their morphology, they are spherical to filamentous forms. They can be either seen in spherical form or in filamentous forms. And their peculiar character is absence of cell wall. And also they may possess an attachment organelle at the tip of the filamentous Mycoplasma pneumoniae. So this Mycoplasma pneumoniae is a species coming under the Mycoplasma, and also Mycoplasma genitalium. These are the pathogenic mycoplasmas. Now, the important character, how they can be seen on agar or culture media. Fried egg-shaped colonies. These are the peculiar feature of mycoplasmas. Fried egg-shaped colonies. The mycoplasmas are presumably evolved by degenerative evolution from gram-positive bacteria. It is believed that it has been evolved from gram-positive bacteria and are phylogenetically most closely related to some Clostridia. So they are related to some Clostridia and gram-positive bacteria. Mycoplasmas are the smallest self-replicating organisms and they possess smallest genome. They are low in guanine and cytosine. And they are nutritionally very exacting. Many require cholesterol. So they are smallest self-replicating organisms. They are low in guanine and cytosine and they are nutritionally very exacting. Many require cholesterol and it is a unique property among prokaryotes. The another species, that is Ureaplasma, coming under this Mycoplasmas, require urea for their growth. Then mycoplasmas have surface antigens such as membrane proteins, lipoproteins, glycolipids, and